Good morning, students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about inheritance and mutation. As you know, inheritance is the transmission of parental characters from generation to generation. Genes are the carrier of informations from parents to their young ones. It means genes are the unit of heredity or inheritance. So here, inheritance, transmission of parental characters from generation to generation. Now there are a number of sex-linked inheritance. Sex-linked inheritance means the inheritance of traits from one generation to the next due to abnormal genes located on X or Y chromosome. There are two different types of sex chromosomes in human males. XY type of chromosomes are found, and in females XX type of chromosomes, and these are known as sex chromosomes. So here XY and XX, these are the two types of sex chromosomes. So on the basis of the position of abnormal genes on X or Y chromosome, there are two different types of inheritance or sex-linked inheritance. Here number one, X-linked inheritance. X-linked inheritance means the inheritance of genetic disorder caused due to presence of recessive gene on X chromosome. Here we are taking some example of X-linked inheritance: color blindness, and hemophilia. These are the two most common examples of X-linked inheritance. Color blindness is a condition or genetic disorder, or you can say X-linked inheritance, which is caused due to abnormal genes or allele present on the X chromosome. Color blindness is a genetic disorder in which a person can't identify mostly red and green colors. So color blindness, which is caused due to genetic abnormalities. Usually, human males are the sufferer of color blindness. Females can't suffer, but they may be carrier of color blindness because in human male only one X chromosome present, and if recessive gene or allele present on the X chromosome, then he will be the sufferer of color blindness. Whereas in human females there are two X chromosomes, and if abnormal genes present on both the X chromosomes, then the condition is known as homozygous recessive, and only in homozygous recessive condition the female will be sufferer of color blindness, which is simply not possible. There is not a case of female color blind dead person in the world found yet, but rarely some males are color blind, it is reported. So color blindness color blindness. Now there are a number of cases in which we study about the inheritance of color blindness. Case number one, if normal father is crossed with a carrier mother, what will happen? Here, carrier mother means the mother in which abnormal gene is located one of the X chromosome. Suppose here C represents color blindness, and normal father means XY type of chromosome, and here there are no any allele or genes located on X chromosome. So normal father and here carrier mother. Now when we make a Punnett to explain it, Punnett square, here it contains 4 subsquares, and we write male gametes in one side. Here XY means, as you know, during meiosis cell division, number of chromosomes reduced to half, and here it is X containing or bearing sperm, whereas it is Y bearing or carrying sperm. Here again female gametes we have to write here, and here XC, it represents allele present on X chromosome in the male female, and here this is the normal X chromosome. Now we make a cross, means when male gamete and female gamete fuse together and form zygote, then here XCX means it is a genotype which represents carrier daughter, and here we have to write phenotype just below the genotype. So phenotype is here carrier daughter. Now when we cross X and X, then here genotype will be XX, which is normal, and therefore the phenotype is normal daughter. Again, when we make a cross between XC and Y, means here XC and Y, and it is a color blind son, because here Y chromosome present. In the fourth condition, here X and Y, and it is a normal son. In this way, these are the 4 conditions appear here, and here you can say carrier daughter appears 20%, 25% only. Again, normal daughter %, color blind son again 25%, and finally normal son 25%. So in this way, these are the 4 genotypes appear here, and again these are the phenotypes we have to write, and these are the genotype. So here genotype and phenotype when we have to write in the Punnett square in each of the box, and these are the results. So 4 different types of offsprings will form, and these are carrier daughter, normal daughter, color blind son, and normal son. When we discuss about the second case of color blindness, second case of color blindness, here when a cross is made between carrier mother and normal father and carrier mother. Normal father means XY type of chromosome present here, and in the carrier mother XX type of chromosome present. Now again, after making a cross between these two, here male gametes X and Y, and here female gametes XC and X. Now we make a cross. So when X fuses XC type of ovum, then here XCX comes, again here XX, here XC and Y, and in this case X and Y. These are the four different genotypes we have. Now phenotypes we have to write here. XCX means carrier daughter, here XX means it is normal daughter, XCY here color blind son, and here normal son. In this way, these are the four conditions appeared, and when we write the phenotype, here these are the phenotype: carrier daughter, here 25%, normal daughter, it is again 25%. Now color blind son, and here again 25%, and normal son, it is again 25%. So in this way, four different types of progenies will appear after crossing between, means after a marriage between normal father and carrier mother. Now case number 3, it is simply not present, but we think about the possibilities which will appear when we make a cross between carrier mother and color blind father. What will happen? Here carrier mother means XCX type of chromosomes present here, color blind father XCY. Now after making a cross, we find that here female gamete XC and X, and here male gamete XC Y. Now a crossing is made. So here XC XC, it is color blind daughter, XC Y, it is color blind son. Here XCX, carrier daughter, and here XY, normal son. Now the four conditions appear here. Number one, color blind daughter 25%, color blind carrier daughter 25%, color blind son 25%, and again normal son 25%. In this way, these are the four conditions appear once again. This condition is usually not possible because there is not a case of color blind female are reported till now, because in human females color blindness is caused only when the condition will be homozygous recessive. Homozygous recessive means this condition is known as homozygous recessive. Both the X chromosomes present in the cell must have deformities, means here abnormal genes or recessive genes responsible for color blindness, and therefore daughters are only the carrier, not the sufferer, and human males are rarely suffer with color blindness. So these are the three conditions, three cases we have studied about color blindness. In the same way, we can study hemophilia, the different cases of hemophilia. Hemophilia is also known as bleeder's disease, and it is a disease in which minor cut or injury can bleed in the person a lot, so that he or she may die very soon. So it is X-linked inheritance once again, and again hemophilia is caused rarely in the human males but not in the females. The females may be carrier of hemophilia. So these are the two common examples of color sex-linked inheritance, which are color blindness, and the second one is hemophilia. Now the second type of sex-linked inheritance is Y-linked inheritance. Y-linked inheritance. Y-linked inheritance means the inheritance of the trait caused due to Y chromosome, means the abnormal gene or allele is located on Y chromosome, and it helps in inheritance of this type of disorders. So here Examples are pattern baldness. Pattern baldness means falling of hair from the scalp or from the head in a particular pattern is known as pattern baldness. It is again a genetic disorder. It is Y-linked inheritance because the abnormal allele or gene is located on Y chromosome. So in females, genetic pattern baldness can't be seen, but in males it is very common because about 50% of human males have particular type of pattern baldness. They are suffering with pattern baldness, and it is genetic disorder which is Y-linked inheritance. The next example of Y-linked inheritance is hypertrichosis of ears. It is a condition in which the pinna of males have bushy hairs, and it is again genetic disorder. It is again Y-linked inheritance, and therefore hypertrichosis of ears or pinna are usually found in human males, not in the human females. Now, mutation. Mutation is the sudden change in the gene or DNA or the number of chromosomes. So if sudden change takes place in the genes DNA or chromosomes which are inheritable, and it is inherited from one generation to the next generation, and this type of changes which are associated with genes, DNA and chromosomes is known as mutation. Sometimes it is helpful for the survival as well as for the speciation of an organism or the races, but in most of the cases these are very harmful. So mutation may be useful as well as harmful, but usually it is harmful. So here, due to some reasons, maybe physical, chemical or some radiations may cause a change in the genes, DNA or number of chromosome or in the genetic components of chromosome, then it causes mutation and it is a sudden change. We are taking two examples of mutation. Number one is gene mutation. Gene mutation here in the sickle cell anemia, the shape of the RBC becomes sickle shaped. Here sickle shaped RBCs. So it is caused due to gene mutation, which is also known as point mutation, means sudden change in the genes causes sickle shaped RBCs, formation of sickle shaped RBCs, and when RBCs become sickle shaped, then it cannot carry sufficient amount of oxygen to the cells and tissues because its shape is not allowed to pass through capillaries properly, and therefore the person is suffering with sickle cell anemia, means loss of any blood or deficiency of blood. So deficiency of blood may be caused due to gene mutation, which is known as sickle cell anemia. Here sickle cell RBCs can't transport sufficient amount of oxygen. And number 2, radiations. Radiations also cause mutation. Radiations also cause mutation. Here there are a number of radioactive substances. Radioactive substances. A number of radioactive substances which cause change in genes or DNA, and thus cause some deformities in human being. For example, in 1945, during World War, atomic bombs were dropped in 2 major cities of Japan, and these are Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Due to effect of radioactive radiations, the persons living there have some genetic deformities, and these genetic deformities are still persisting. So a number of changes were taking place in the plants and the animals and human beings also living in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, when atomic bombs were dropped in these 2 cities. Due to radioactive radiation, there are a number of changes took place in the plants, animals and human beings, and due to these genetic abnormalities, all these deformities are inherited from generation to generation, and now it is still persisting. So mutation is mostly harmful, and very few of them are helpful. It helps in formation of new species, which is also known as speciation, and also it helps in survival of an organism. Some useful examples can be seen in the giraffe as well as in other animals and plants also. So mutation may be useful and harmful. So in the next lecture we will discuss about Mendel's contribution, Mendel's law of inheritance, monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Thank you, students.